Good morning, AAA family. Good morning. It's your boy, Coach Smook. Out for my morning run. Had to stop and walk for a little bit. As you see, I'm not breathing really hard. We was at a nice pace. I've been waiting, walking, trying to get to y'all. We're finally live. Welcome in, top of the screen. You on Facebook, react. You on YouTube, hit that like button. Make sure you comment, like, share. Make sure you subscribe to the Coach Smook Network. Listen, I'm not going to draw you out through a long live show this morning. We're out of town right now. As you can see, I'm not at my normal walking space. And this was supposed to be a walk and talk, but I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to tap in from our platforms. Now, kind of some updates going into week one. As you all know, ECU prep really started yesterday. Install practice for ECU. And there were some things that we witnessed in the first scrimmage that we reported on about different formations and alignments and stuff. And you remember I told y'all about the fullback package, lined up under center, traditional I formation, variations of the I formation being intact. Well, that was a huge focus at practice yesterday. And I feel like going into the ECU game, because of the run game struggles last year, it's going to be an intentional effort on getting those run schemes installed and getting real well versed on it before we get into live action against ECU. Because we all know you can look good in practice, man. We've heard about the explosives in practice. We've heard about, guys rotating in and picking up where they left off from before the AKD injury. So seeing a lot of those things come to fruition is huge for Alabama. But uh, the utilization of it is something that is still to be questioned, right? I don't doubt that we have quality running backs and a quality offensive line. Just got to get Ryan Grubb to call it. Speaking of Ryan Grubb, he spoke on something yesterday that probably didn't make media, but he said something about the offensive play calling style because of what we have selecting Keelon at quarterback. He said he said one thing that we haven't he said one thing that I haven't had in a while is the ability to roll out a script and be comfortable that I could miss on one or two of those because I have a guy under center that understands what we're trying to accomplish. And the more we can get him to understand not to try to force stuff and try to stay within the grand scheme of things until he can't, that's when he'll be elite. He said something like that in so many words. And to me, like I've been saying, a lot of people are just now getting on this trend of saying this, and I've been saying it. And I'll call anybody out on this. Last year, when Ty Simpson was struggling and the Alabama offense was struggling, I blamed it on Ty because you can't hit a deep pass. Well, now I'm willing to bet any amount of money with anybody except for Darius Fountain and Brian Harper, Roman Harper's brother. I'm willing to bet any amount of money that we will see a more effective run game and a more effective offensive play calling that's not going to differ much from what we saw last year. Now, style of play, style of run may be different because now you don't have to get cute to try to open up the run game because your quarterback is threatening the defense every time he draws back with his legs or his arm. You didn't have that with Ty Simpson. Now, I'll say this. If you go back and you only watch the second quarter of most games, you would have Heisman as a front runner, right, for the Heisman. If it was just about second quarter before a defense could truly make adjustments, before a coordinator could truly make adjustments, you would love Ty, right? You can't win like that. You got to have a quarterback that could what they call it mix with the motion. You know what I'm saying? Like he could get in any current and make an impact any part of the game, right? Any phase of the game, and that's either setting the defense up by holding on to the ball, good play calling. I mean, good ball handling, or keep your defense in it and giving them a chance by keeping your offense scoring. So that was a huge conversation yesterday, just about how the offense, the run game, is everything is coming together. They said as soon as Keelon lined up and took that first snap in the second scrimmage, it was like everybody on the sideline knew after the very first play of the second scrimmage, it was already signed and sealed after the very first play. That's how explosive the offense was. He literally three positive plays in a row to a touchdown on the first drive in the first scrimmage, and then to go 23, 28, 24, 29, whatever the official number was, three touchdowns, no turnovers. There was no way we could have went with Austin Mack at this point, man. And Keelon, after talking with a few of the players last week, the energy ain't changed. The energy ain't changed. That's why I laugh at all the Twitter Bama fans now, because they sat there and was trying to be all cryptic about his post when he was saying, "What more can he do?" I don't think people realize that young man lost his twin sister last year. And see, not we, the goofy part of the Gump fan base, just so ignorant. You got so many trolls and so many people that just vulgar. And they swear I'm a bad person, but man, you look at some of the stuff that these people post. It's funny how they'll get up under fucking this post and try to speak on my name, and you go to their Twitter feed, and they on every politician post cussing them out and calling them out white America and all this other stuff. You know, it's funny that people like that try to talk football with me. I can't even take it serious. But anyways, on defense, four freshmen should be seeing time this week. I mean, next week against ECU in the game plan. We all know Zay Griffin is one of them. We all know that Jara Edwards was one of them, but he's injured. So where the other freshmen go come from? Well, don't say I didn't tell you. But the likes of a Jordan Edmonds could be seeing the field early in the secondary rotation. Now, it's not because of the injury, not because of the injury, but because of some things he's done. Even going before his injury, he was doing some things. And we know the cornerback room is one of the spots where you're going to see guys rotate. Coach Mo is one. He would throw a freshman in on third and what it was, third and 11. He put Dijon Louis in on Squirrely right last year. They called a timeout and he left him out there. So Jordan Edmonds' name is coming up. I expect his name to be mentioned. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all not hear me, chat? Oh, my bad, chat. Thought I had an important message for my producers. They talking about they can hear the wind and stuff. You clearly don't see I got a mic on. So come on, man. Why you tighten up? It's Friday. I'm already trying to keep my momentum up from my run. Trying to get this thing over with. Y'all playing around. But yeah, so defensively, Zay Griffin, expect him. With the injury to Jara Edwards, a lot of people expect that to open up opportunities at the in the second level for guys like I mentioned, just for Jordan Edmonds. But to me, based off of what we were hearing from practice, and I'm gonna tell you like this: it's one of those things where this week, if you see guys getting reps against ones, they are part of the game plan. They're a part of the game plan. So when I hear names like Jamarian Matthews getting reps with the ones, Amari Johnson getting reps in the game plan. Maybe not big for one, but you got these guys rotating and getting one reps, right? That's huge. That's huge for this roster. Zay Hall. Why are we bringing him up off of scout side or third team and rotate him in off the edge and in the inside linebacker position? The same thing we're doing with Griffin. Why are we creating so much depth there? I'll tell you why. One, you can't predict injuries, right? In this day and age, you cannot predict injuries. The best way to be prepared going into the first quarter of the season is to keep the same load you had as far as reps, keep divvying that thing out. And that's what you're seeing, man. Keep dipping it out until guys start losing reps. You might have an injury, or you might have a guy not execute, slowing down the game plan, and he proves himself. You can rotate him out. You can replace him, and that's what's happening for real, man. It's a lot of guys that have been sitting on this roster that have not maybe popped. They've been serviceable, but they haven't popped. And these freshmen that are coming in, that Kalen DeBoer and his staff are recruiting, are guys that they're actually evaluating, so they know coming in, we can work with what you're putting on tape for us. We can work with that from the jump. It's about developing and continuing to build on it. And the best way to do that is with live reps. So the sooner I can get you on the same page as me and understanding my language and then putting you in the game, I feel like you'll get better. And that's what's happening at Alabama. You seen the last 2 years under this staff, the freshmen have been the impact. The young guys have been the impact guys. You can't count on the veteran guys from the Saban leftovers. Couldn't really count on to be consistent. So when I think about this in a whole perspective, man, why can't we see four freshmen on the defensive side get some playing time next Saturday in the first quarter, in the second quarter, and meaningful game time. And then like I said, Zay Griffin, Zay Hall, I see those two, Mari, and even Corey Howard has shown himself a serviceable rotational piece for the D line. So it's some freshman names. It was four in particular that I was talking about yesterday with a few. Uh, you had Zay, both Zays. You got Mari, and then you also have Jamari. You got Big Jam, and so that D line. I told y'all the D line rotation is going to be important to develop those guys because the fresher you can stay on the interior across the front on this defensive scheme, the better. The less assets you have to commit to blitzing the quarterback, getting pressure on the quarterback, the better. Because now you got guys underneath hanging out in space. You getting a push up front. Quarterback is tempted to keep his eyes from keeping his eyes downfield because the pressure is collapsing on him. And you got guys hanging underneath, overneath, in the middle of the field. Your inside linebackers get to kind of float with your safeties. Your sidelines get to keep everything on the boundary locked up. This defense can really lock down some stuff and really cause some confusion if we execute at the high level. And it all starts with that interior push. All right. Now, I'm gonna flip back to the offensive side. I'm gonna go back and forth, right? Offensive side, we've been hearing a lot about the tight ends, but Danny Lewis, I feel like I don't know what was said to him, or maybe it's just the simple fact that he's the healthiest he's been since he's been at Alabama in his career. But Danny Lewis is making a name for himself. Um, One, just the execution and veteran presence, the ability to execute at a high level, at a high clip, day in, day out, is definitely helped his draft stock, not draft stock, his profile, his player profile. But Danny Lewis has been mentioned in making a lot of big catches, especially in the red zone. Especially in the red zone. So when you have a 6'5" asset, 260 pounds, 265, that can actually get up, knows how to use his body well. That was one thing we loved about Danny Lewis. Strong hands and knew how to use his frame coming out of high school. So hopefully that's developed in his fifth year. I believe this is his fifth year. Hopefully that's developed because the staff seems to want to get him in the game plan. Him and Josh Ford are kind of like your traditional Y assets. Well, more so him. Josh Ford comes in more in as an H asset that can catch, right? But his physicality, basically being a athletic fullback. Well, I can't say that because Justin Fowler was a crazy athletic fullback too for Bama back in the day when we labeled them as fullbacks. Robbie Oos is like your more up to date version of what fullbacks are, and that's what you kind of get from Ford. But you look at Ford's film, man, that man can line up and split, run routes. He's not the best route runner, but strong hands, strong route runner. You're not going to knock him off his doggone route. Very smart, savvy with his technique. So that tight end room, though, I believe that's going to be the X factor to the development of this offense. A lot of people think it's the O line. I think it's the tight end room. I really do. I think right now you got a group of tight ends where you shouldn't be missing a beat. You shouldn't be missing a beat. You don't have a tight end room where one guy has 30 responsibilities like Quavis did in the first 2 years under this system. Quavis did some things. The first year behind Dupree, Dupree was not a grub. The board guy. So Quavis came in behind Dupree. Y'all remember CJ Dupree? And those two worked well off each other. It was just a limited offense. We had a quarterback, run heavy system. I guess you could say RPO heavy system with Jalen Miro, and that's what had to work for that team, that personnel. I think going forward though, because you've been able. When's the last time we seen the tight end room this deep? First of all, let's talk about that. We've never seen this many capable personnel in the tight end room. You know, Coach Saban always kept three or four of them. And this roster, I think you got 8 tight ends on the roster. And when I say all of them can go, we could. I think you would if you had a situation where Max Sutter was your only tight end on the roster, you'll be okay. You'll be limited, but you'll be okay. You'll be able to do some things, be effective. You'll be able to establish an identity, all of that, because he's a quality guy. But he's so young. But got a lot of bodies in that room. The top four, Danny Lewis. And I'm gonna keep saying his name first because he's really stepped up, guys. Him and Josh Ford, you kind of want them to be the leaders. That way you can let Caleb and Marshall be young guys. Let them be young and continue to develop, grow and mature through the more reps. Marshall is different too, man. I told y'all last year before he got injured. Um, I think if Marshall wouldn't have been injured to start the fall last year and had an operation, I think honestly, Quavis wouldn't have had as many snaps because they were playing Caleb Edwards heavy. They were playing Edwards heavy around week 2, week 3. They started playing him heavy in the rotation during the season. So it wasn't crazy to think that with Marshall. Because Marshall showed up in spring and was doing work, y'all. So I love the tight end room. Love how everything is shaping up. And this weekend, y'all, we won't be doing the Saturday morning show. This is how I'm going to close it out, y'all. Mary J and Jordan. We won't have a Saturday morning show tomorrow. Not a show. I will come live, though. I have a huge announcement to make. We can't make the announcement until tomorrow. I was going to make it this morning, but I can't make the announcement until tomorrow. And you guys are going to be excited. So for all of the AAA family that loves to get out and go tailgate or support or would like to link up, we got a season full of adventure for y'all. So without further ado, y'all, we go ahead and run back to the house. I got to use the bathroom really bad. And I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna check in throughout the day on some mobilized. Definitely want to try to get the StreamYard covered up. StreamYard out. Try to get some clips, some AI clips off of this. Not very much to discuss other than y'all. We are officially in kickoff week right now. Like literally right now. This is kickoff week. It's considered day one of the season right now. Today. We are in the 2026 college football season. We are here, AAA family, and I'm freaking excited. You get what I'm saying? So, college football is back, baby. Bama is back. Coach Smook ain't never left, and I'm ready to get to it, man. So, starting next week, we got the Saturday morning call-in show, game day kickoff show, and I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the first Zach pregame pump up. Can't wait. Can't wait to hear Davin. And Big Home, not Big Home, what's his name? Stay Up Doug and Glenn. Maybe we get Glenn, the season kickoff. Glenn, he be on that. Glenn Coffee, he be on that phone line. Get a lot of y'all on that line, man. Some of y'all, Marquis, yeah, man. Antoine, gotta get everybody back on the phone lines, man. The season back. So Monday night is our first call-in show of the season. I need everybody coming out, going crazy, blowing up the phone lines when we open up the phone line. Make it to where Zach only get 2 minutes of phone time, y'all. That's how we need to blow the phone lines up. I want to hear all your thoughts, all your excitement that whole week next week. And then I'm gonna challenge y'all because we'll be doing our series every night next week. Starting at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be watching 2025 Alabama season playback and reacting to it together on TikTok. So make sure y'all stay tuned in so we can have fun, get tuned up for the season, get our emotions in check. I know watching the 2025 season, If you had any fair weather in your blood, if you watch that, you'll be able to find it, right? Expose it and get rid of it before kickoff on Saturday because I ain't dealing with it this year. All right. Hey, I'm your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality, Coach Smook. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed and roll tide, man.
Roll tide all day, yeah, it's in my bones. Crimson in my veins, talking Bama in the microphone. Look me up on YouTube. True cut, straight from the stone. Ain't no selling fairy tales, I'm exposing what they want. Alabama football, yeah, I live it, yeah, I breathe it. From the streets to the bleachers, every angle, yeah, I see it. Film study, so militant. I ain't guessing a thing. Break it down, every snap is like a coach in the team. Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you'll fail with the fan. They tried to box me in, and I kicked the dough off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach. That's what they say.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. Them boys over there. Look at Deontay.
Hey, y'all, I'm walking out of Walmart. Hey, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast.
What's up, bro?
Reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Roll Tide, man.